Hello and welcome everyone. This is Curtis here. I did open the queue just a couple of minutes early, so we'll just give it a few more minutes, let everyone trickle in, grab a comfy spot, maybe a beverage, a snack, and yeah, we'll get going at the top of the hour, so 7 a.m. my time and whatever time it is where you are. So I will talk to you soon. All right, hello, howdy, and hi, and welcome to all of my GMT time zoners. My name is Curtis Dohaniuk, and I'm a product specialist with Polaris, and today I am coming at you live from a very dark and cold Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today I am going to be your guide and host on our feature webinar presentation about Polaris, the self-driving PSA, and we're going to show you how it helps deliver harmony with smart decisions. This is my first UK webinar of the year, so I'm very excited to be here with you guys. Might take a few minutes to kind of shuffle the cobwebs of 2020 off, but yeah, we're going to start the new year off great because we are going to take a look at our new and exciting platform that we have to help you drive your PSA needs in your organization. So just a few notes on housekeeping before we go any further. Throughout this presentation, you will be on mute, but don't worry. If you have any burning questions that pop into your brain at any point in time, feel free to submit them in the question box at the bottom, and we'll get to all of your questions at the very end of the webinar. So if you put a question in the box, don't feel like I'm ignoring you, just trying to keep the flow going. It's especially difficult sometimes when I'm by myself to manage all the moving parts, so we'll just save all the questions to the end. And maybe a little bit later, you sit down and you're having a coffee or you're getting ready to eat some dinner, and for some reason, Polaris pops into your brain. That is okay too. You can always drop us a line. We'll have someone who is available to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm in kind of the North America time zone, so if you need to message me, that's when you can catch me. But otherwise, yeah, we'll have someone somewhere available that can answer your questions whenever you have them. So here's a quick look at today's agenda. So first, we will go over an overview of Polaris, and so you get an idea of what our self-driving PSA does. And then we will dive into a demo of the platform and see it in action. Afterwards, we will look at a couple of customer examples and review the ROI from these transformations. And finally, we will end off with a Q&A with you folks. So Polaris PSA, what is it? It is a new approach to the PSA platforms. Polaris gives you real-time analysis from all the data that you have input into our platform, and from this, it gives you the recommendations that you need to run your organization as efficiently as possible. So here is a common problem that we hear from organizations. I know there are large inefficiencies in how we're operating. I just don't have the right data at the right time to find them. So it's kind of like the old saying, you don't know what you don't know, or on another version of it is you don't know what you can't see. And there are so many moving parts of professional services organizations, and trying to keep tabs on them can be so difficult. Even if we have a whole department dedicated to it, there's just so much going on in an organization that we need to be able to keep track of every single hour, every single cent that is going into our organization if we want to run efficiently as possible. And so we heard this common problem and we decided to take it upon ourselves to try and solve this problem. And well, we did. So here is what happened with this organization after they implemented Polaris. This is a very powerful. We're able to quickly uncover 28 million in revenue opportunities, which delivered an extra 12 million in profits. And there are many organizations out there, and I don't think too many would be too upset with an extra $12 million in profits. So just by understanding your information and managing it effectively, it can really help you unleash the full potential of your organization. And here are some of the challenges that organizations face. So maybe you're reading these and you nod your head at one, or maybe you're nodding your head at all of these. This is what Polaris is here for. We are here to help you face those challenges and conquer them. And this is how we do it. So we take your key challenges and we put all of the data that you have harvested into our system. So this is all 100% accurate data. We have governance, we have permissions in place to ensure that everything is being accurate. And once we get these informations, we take them, analyze them. Well, I guess Polaris analyzes, I don't analyze them. And it will give you real-time recommendations. So you're not waiting, you're not printing reports, you're having all the information that you need to make these decisions as they happen. And this leads to no arguments, only decisions. You don't have to worry about everyone in your organization deciding who's correct, what's the best approach. Polaris is going to give you that recommendation you need. So there's no more arguments, just those decisions. And it helps you to be proactive and not reactive. If you're able to be proactive, you can solve problems before they're problems. And this really allows you to be effective as an organization. And this is all because of our real-time data. This is Polaris, the world's first self-driving PSA. And what do we mean by self-driving? Well, self-driving means that you're putting the data in, we're analyzing it and spitting out those recommendations in one fell swoop. So you don't have to worry about doing a bunch of steps to try to find the information you need. It is all done automatically. All you have to do is capture your data and we're going to analyze it and spit it out and ensure that you can be proactive and make those big decisions. And at the heart of Polaris is our smart beat system. So our smart beats are live data. So this is up to the second. No longer are you waiting to see how timesheets affect your organization. Everything is on demand. And this gives you real-time visibility into the pulse of your organization so you can understand how every single action will affect the rest of your organization. And all this smart beat information is visualized through mission control. So mission control is 100% accurate. It is taking all that data that we have harvested and displaying it in a way that is relevant for your role. And this can be used across your entire organization. So it is function-based because we know there are many moving parts of an organization. Maybe you have practice leaders, client leaders, project leaders, resource leaders, finance leaders. They all need time information and they need it to be accurate. And it's important that we are able to pull this from one consistent source, but we all need it for different reasons. So our mission controls are tailored to every single user in your organization. And this all allows you to have live insights and to be successful as an organization because it allows you to be agile. It helps you to keep track on all your pipeline of all your projects. And most importantly, it allows you to be profitable because, well, if we want an organization to continue on effectively, we need to be profitable, we need to be making money, and we need to be successful. So Polaris is going to help you with all of that. And so you kind of saw the spiel. It's difficult to sometimes elaborate in the mind's eye exactly what's going on here. So you want to know, how does it work? And we are going to hop into a demo right away here, but here's just a quick review of everything we're going to look at today. We're going to take a look at how Polaris helps you with analytics. We're going to see how it is modeled by governance. We're going to take a look at our financial modeling, projects, practices, clients, resources, time and expense entry, financials, and more. So with that, we are going to hop into the platform. Now it is a pretty big platform with a lot of moving parts. So I'm going to do my best to cover everything in this 30 minutes or so. But don't worry, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the question box at any time. And again, we'll get to them all at the end of the webinar. So as a professional services organization, you have so many moving parts. You have projects to plan, resources allocate, budgets to set, billing to manage, and it is frankly a lot. It can be overwhelming. So we wanted to create some calm from the chaos. We wanted to ensure that everything is smooth and efficient as an organization. So that is why we created Polaris. Polaris is here to help you do your job as effectively as possible and help you uncover those hidden profits, all doing this without any data silos. So you're going to be able to get all this information where you need it to go. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, at the heart of Polaris is our smart beats. So smart beats are real-time captures of all the data as it happens. So in this example, we're actually going to see up to the hour updates on this specific task on a project. So no longer do we have to wait until a timesheet is submitted at the end of the week and then it's approved, and then we'll see that data populate throughout the system. Everything happens here in real time. So every time I work an hour, 30 minutes on a project, I can submit that to my managers and they will be able to review this and understand how this affects our organization. So here's an example here. We can see at the beginning of our project, we had our estimates and we started working along. That estimate got reduced at one point, and then on the dreaded April 20th, it actually got increased. So we were getting close to reaching our goal, but something happened. So if me as a PM see that we have this estimate that has been increased, I can cross-reference this with the date, and we can scroll down and see every single smart beat that has been logged. And on April 20th, we can see where we changed from green to yellow. We had a change in scope and we are redoing the design. And this can be scary as a project manager if you see this 2 weeks late, but now we are seeing this in real time. So we're not putting out those old problems. We are solving problems as they happen, and we're making sure they're not problems at all. We're making sure we are able to take care of everything in real time. And this is all done through SmartBeats. So SmartBeats is our intelligent way to track all of your data. And SmartBeats can be logged in a number of different ways because we know every user operates in a different fashion. So there's a couple of options when it comes to logging your SmartBeats. And one of those is on the My Work tab. So the My Work tab is kind of like your homepage, kind of helps you understand exactly what you have going on at a given time. And here I can see that I have a couple of tasks on the go. We have requirements and scoping and project management. And if I am in fact working on my project requirements and scoping today, I can go ahead and click on it and we can start logging an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And as I log these hours, my work remaining will decrease. Now, what we also have here is our estimated time at completion, as well as our estimated completion date and a comments field. And these are important for a couple of reasons because these will give our PMs and our administrators real-time updates on exactly what is happening. So maybe I'm working along and I see this project might take us a little bit longer than expected. I can actually add on to that work remaining, and you can see that we have 103 hours added. Now this is going to push back our completion date, so I can change that here, and I can go ahead and unfortunately we're going to have to leave the sad face because 100 extra hours is not ideal. And right away, scoping change, submit this. This will go to my project manager and they will see what has happened with this project and they can start to plan accordingly, whether it needs to be moving resources around, changing how this project is working, whatever the case may be. They are given this information in real time so they can make those snap judgments and understand exactly how this project is moving along. Similarly, maybe I start working away and I see, there's some redundant tasks here. Not going to take us quite as long. We can actually boost forward this end date. And let's turn that frown upside down into the super happy face. And the scoping change is now a positive. And now my project manager will see this and they can understand, okay, we're going to be spending less time on this task. Maybe all the tasks across this project are spending less time. Maybe we can fit more projects into a year. So by having a really good understanding of exactly how long all of our different tasks and projects are going to take us, we can better plan our project pipeline, whether it means adding more projects in or reducing the amount of projects we take on so we're not incurring overhead and having unhappy clients. So by having this real-time updates, we can really understand the exact status of our organization in regards to our project pipeline. But I know it's shocking. There's not always going to be people who are going to be logged into Polaris 24/7. And maybe you're like me, and even having 3 tabs is a little bit more than you would like on your web browser. For me, it makes me nervous when I see my coworkers with like those 1 centimeter wide web browser tabs and they have 50 on the top. I hate it. So I'm more of our desktop platform kind of guy. So we can actually have Polaris running in the background. It's going to have all the same functionality that we just saw on our web app, but I can actually go ahead and select my tasks, start logging my hours, change my work remaining, leave comments, and submit these right away. And then when I'm done, I can just tuck it away and it's hiding in the background. So it's a pretty low key passive way to enter this time. We don't have to log through Polaris. We don't have to click through tabs. It's just another way, another option so that we don't always have to be logged into Polaris. And hopefully very soon, or depending on where you are, maybe right now, we will have our workers on the go, but they're going to need to still be able to access Polaris wherever they are. So we wanted to ensure that this is a seamless experience for everyone. So for that, we created our Polaris Mobile App. So just give me one moment here while I switch over my screen. So we created our Polaris mobile app from the ground up. We didn't want to give our users a stunted version of the desktop platform. We wanted to give you access to everything you need to do your role effectively. So our desktop or our mobile app has full functionality. So everything that you could access on the desktop is available to you in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a resource manager needing to understand your resource management and assign resources to specific tasks, whether you're a project manager and you need to understand which of your projects are over hours, budgets, or end dates, or this page may look a little familiar. It is because we just saw it a couple minutes ago. If I need to log my work, I can go ahead and head over to my work page and I can start logging my SmartBeat information. So again, we want Polaris to be real time. We want all this information to come to you as it happens. So instead of waiting for a user to sit by a desktop computer and log their information there, we are giving them access to keep track of all this data regardless of where they are located or what they are doing. So we wanted Polaris to make sure that you just have this full comprehensive grasp of all of your information. And once we have started working away and plugging all this information into our platform, we are going to need a way to visualize this. And we do this through our mission controls. So mission controls are the real-time updates to all of your information in the platform, and these are updated in real time. So every time one of these SmartBeats is accepted, you'll see the ramifications of that throughout the platform. And every single one of these mission controls is tailored to that specific user in your organization. So whether you're a project manager, you'll have a project mission control. Program managers have those program mission controls. Client managers have a client mission control. You can probably see where this is going. And resource managers have their resource management mission control. And every one of these is going to give you the data that you need to succinctly carry out your role. Because if we know there's a couple of problems that organizations run into. One is you are inundated with data. So there is data everywhere. You're searching through multiple platforms, trying to track down the information that you need, and you're not sure if it's correct or accurate. And making a decision based on this can be difficult. And on the flip side, you can try to make decisions. We all know this feeling of trying to decide something based on not enough data, and you're kind of taking that leap of faith and hoping everything turns out. So with Polaris, we are avoiding both of these scenarios, and we are giving you the information you need. So in this instance, we're going to see our project's mission control. And this is really important because it helps us again to help understand our pipeline process. So if we have tasks that are starting to bubble up over their hours estimate, we can understand which of these tasks are and which projects they belong to. And if these tasks are bubbling up over their hours estimate and over their end date, there's a good chance if they are left to sit and percolate that we are probably going to have projects that are over our hours budget and over our end date. And this is going to lead to over allocation, reduced pipeline, angry clients, and we want to avoid all of this. So by understanding at the source when we might see problems, we can put them out and really make sure that everything is running effectively. And on top of that, we also allow you to understand the status of all your resource requests. So these are all things that as a project manager, you're going to have to do on the daily. So we want to give you this dashboard that helps you understand exactly what is happening in up to the minute real-time information. So if I have proposed resource requests that are awaiting approval, I can dive into those. I can also see which drafts I have yet to submit to my resource manager, and just gives me a full 360-degree view of all my project information. And then if I see that there is a task that is maybe bubbling over a little bit, I can actually drill down into any one of these tasks, and we will have a mission controlception kind of thing here where we have a mission control within our mission control, and every single project is going to have their own individual mission control. Because we want to ensure that all the data that you need to carry out this project is located in one area. So again, you're not searching everywhere trying to track down the information you need. It's easily accessible for everyone who it is relevant to. And this is all possible through governance and permissions within our platform. And one example of that is our project plans. So our project plans are a set plan for every project that you carry out, and they give you certain steps that you are following so that you can ensure that you are executing a project perfectly every single time. And each of these different phases will have different permissions that are allocated to them. So for example, if we're in our initiate stage and our planning stage, we're not going to be wanting to log SmartBeats towards specific task structures or task assignments because maybe those haven't been finalized, maybe the assignments haven't been finalized, and this could lead to wasted time, redundant information, or completely wrong information. So only when we are in the execution phase will our users be able to log their SmartBeat information. And on top of that, we do also understand that things change. Maybe as an organization, you find a new project plan that works a little bit better, or maybe there's just a project that is slightly different that has different requirements. We can always adjust these on the fly, so we can remove these steps, we can add steps, but we can ensure that these project plans are exactly what we need them to be every single time. And once we have this project in motion, we are in the execution phase, we start logging our SmartBeat information, we will have at our disposal all the relevant information for this project. So just like before, I have access to my KPIs. I can see my billable revenue, cost, profit, hours. We can actually break this down by entire project, year, quarter, month, day, week. I also have access at a snapshot of all my financials. We can take a look at our budgeted hours, actuals versus estimates. Time and expense information is available if applicable. And we also have a location where we can upload our documents. I personally know the pain of someone saying, "Hey, Curtis, did you see that document?" And then I have to go look through all my instant messages, emails, shared document drives, and trying to track down that one specific document can be pain. And then when we have multiple documents that we have to track down, that compounds it. That's wasted time. That is ineffectiveness. And maybe we don't even find the document we're looking for. So with our mission controls, we are just ensuring that everything that you need to effectively run this project is located in one easy to access area. Now, we will also have a breakdown of our resource hours, our actuals versus estimates, resource cost, actuals versus estimates, rate card if applicable. Polaris even supports complex billing plans. So whatever billing plan you have in your organization, we can help support that within the platform. Here you'll see an example of our fixed bid milestone. So we'll actually be able to see the task and the associated percentage of completion, as well as the billing amount. What you'll also notice here is that we are billing in our very fun colored Canadian dollars. So this is just one example of the global nature of the Polaris platform. We know that many organizations have users across the globe, and we want to make sure that they are able to adapt to this situation and have that customized setup experience for every single user in your organization. So whether you are needing to change the currency, your languages, time zones, pay rules, holiday schedules, we have so many different functions at Polaris to ensure that we are able to adapt and configure this platform to every single user's needs. And finally, to wrap a nice bow on everything, we do understand that there is going to be external chatter outside of this platform regards to this project, but we want to make sure that that can all tie back to Polaris. So we do also include the availability to change things like a Slack channel, for example, so you can actually load your Slack channel into here, have it connected to the platform, so everyone knows exactly where the chatter that is related to this project is, where all the documentation is. We're just making sure that everything you need to run this project is available to you at all times. And this goes for every single role in our organization. So maybe I'm a client manager and I want to understand exactly how we are doing client-wise. I'm going to want to understand which of our projects are over hours budget and over end dates. And maybe I see that in 2020, we did have a particularly bad month in April. That was a pretty crazy month for a lot of different countries. So if I want to find out more, I can drill down and understand where my profits or lack therefore of came from. And if there's a specific organization I want to dive into a little bit more, ooh, Big Game Inc. Not a great month for them. We can drill down and see exactly what happened in April, so we have a full comprehensive view of everything that happened in this project. And as a project manager, maybe I want to have a comprehensive view of one of these specific tasks. I want to see why it's over the end date. I can actually drill down into any one of these tasks and I will be able to see right away where these red flags have been triggered. So literally we have these red numbers on our UX design. It looks like we are over our end date. So let's see what happened here. So just like before, our smart beats allow me to drill down into any one of these tasks and understand what's happening in real time. And we had our estimates and our actuals. We were working towards completion. And then October 2nd, dun, 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 things took a little bit of a turn for the worst. So again, I can cross-reference that. And we have an unhappy note left here from Chris DeFonte. He is not happy with the UX and he needs a new designer. And he has added 200 hours of work onto this task. So as a PM, this could be a moment of panic. I now have to decide on a new resource. I have to reallocate those hours. I have to plan out this task. This could be a lot of stress, but stress not. Polaris has your back. We have Smart Match in place to ensure that we are able to fix this problem before it's even a problem. So me, as the cool, calm, and collected resource or project manager that I am, I'm going to head over to this resource request page. And here I can start making my requests. So right away, we know that Chris DeFonte said we need a new UX designer. So I can select that role. It's actually going to populate our cost rate as well as the requested hours based on the project or the task time. And we can change the number of resources or requested cost. What we'll also be able to request is specific skills and groups. So since I selected UX designer, it's going to populate the specific skills that are relevant to this role. And we can adjust these so we can add specific skills or we can kind of raise them depending on what we're looking for. But we kind of have the default that is in place for our organization when we're looking for a UX designer. And we can also specifically request someone from a group. So if I need someone from a specific department, or maybe I need a specific employee type, and it's fun waking up early with all the GMT time zone folks, but it'd be nice to get some beauty sleep. So I'm going to select someone in the same time zone as me. And we don't need 100% of their time. Let's just change their loading to 20, and we can see how everything is changed in real time. If I need to leave any comments, I can go ahead and leave those, and then I can submit this request. And we want this process to be collaborative because we know project managers have one idea, we know resources managers have another idea, but Polaris is going to crunch all the numbers and it is going to give you the best recommendation. So not only by giving you the best recommendation, but by having this collaborative effort, we really ensure that you are finding the perfect person for every single role. So once I go ahead and submit this request, we will see that I do get a little notification here. So if you're familiar with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we all know this bell icon. This is telling us that there is some action that needs to be taken within the platform. So me as a resource manager can see right away that I do have this resource request that has been submitted. And this is going to tell me that I need to head over to my resource request page and fulfill this resource request. That was a lot of resource requests in 30 seconds. But maybe I'm not going to be logged in to Polaris every moment of the day, but I still need to receive these notifications. So we actually do have a robust notification system so you can get these alerts regardless of where you are. So if I'm not logged into Polaris, I'm probably logged into my work email and we can have these notifications sent there. But maybe I don't want to receive all these notifications via email and fill my inbox, or maybe I'm not sitting in front of a computer at all. Chances are I have my cell phone in my hand. We can actually send push notifications just like you see here. Because again, we want everything to happen in real time. So we are giving you the power to configure these notifications as necessary. And we do also understand that, well, maybe you're taking a vacation, maybe you're having a Zen moment and you don't want anyone to bother you. You can always turn these notifications off. So again, everything in our platform is configurable to meet your specific needs. But now that I do see that we have this resource request, me as a responsible project resource manager, I'm going to be heading over here and seeing that this request has been in fact made. So I'm going to go ahead and start allocating this resource. So at Polaris, we saw that this was a stressful moment for a lot of organizations. They have tens, hundreds, thousands of users maybe that they have to sort through to find who's going to fit best for a project. Then they have to understand their availability, how their hours are going to be allocated, how will they match up, and that can be a nightmare. And we realized computers, yes, they are more than just cat memes. They also have a lot of computing power, and we can help them by helping you and really allow you to find the best person for every single role. So we created Smart Match, and it's going to run the algorithm, and it's going to shoot out a score based on the matching components and parameters that we have submitted in our resource request. So if I have a specific match score that I want returned, maybe in this instance is an 85, I can go ahead and set that on Smart Match. And unfortunately here we will not see that there is anyone with that score. So me as a resource manager can mark this to be hired, and this will let my project manager understand that we're in the process of finding this person. But on the flip side, maybe I lower my specifications a little bit. We set it to 59. I'll actually see that I have 3 different users and they all have 100% availability, which is perfect. But there's a good lot of information that goes into setting these scores. And although we're not going to give away our trade secrets, I'm going to help you to understand a little bit here how these scores are returned so you can kind of see the give and take that is associated with the Smart Match system. So first we will see Lori Meyer. She is our highest rated Smart Match. So I can actually drill down into her profile and see exactly where she returned this score. So she is a contractor out of Calgary, so that's points right there. We can see that she is not primarily a UX designer, but that is her additional skill. And she does have a pretty robust skills catalog with a lot of polished skills. So this is where she is returning a lot of those points. Now, if we look at Patricia Contreras, for example, in kind of contrast, we can see that she is a contractor. She is not out of Calgary, she's out of Detroit, so that's a couple of hours of sacrifice sleep. She also is not a primary UX designer, she's an additional UX designer, and she does have quite a wide skills catalog, but they are not quite as polished, so they might not match up with that skills that we had initially submitted for our request. And finally, with Janet Day, we can see that Janet is in fact a contractor out of New York City. So again, not quite the same time zone. We can also see that she is primarily a UX designer, so that's where she gets some bonus points, but she does lose some points because her skills catalog is not as wide as Patricia or as deep as Lori's. It's a little bit shallow. She has a little bit more basic skills, so she's not going to return as many points. So me as a resource manager can understand how these scores are returned and decide who's going to fit this role the best. If I want to go ahead and add one person onto this task, two people, I can actually split the hours so that we have them both available if something comes up. But in this instance, I think we're going to just keep Lori Mayer as the sole person, and we can actually extend her hours just a little bit in case maybe this task runs a little long and we want to ensure that she's there just in case we need her. And if this task runs a little short, we can actually reallocate those undistributed hours and continue on our way. So now that I have the resource that we have selected, I can go ahead and propose this, and then we'll get a notification. And through the magic of webinars, we will be able to see that this resource has been proposed. So back to me as a project manager, this is part of the collaboration. I can drill down into this resource request, and I can see exactly what has changed. So we can see there's a few more days added on, allocated hours changed, the cost has went up. And if I think this is acceptable and I want to go ahead and accept this, I can go ahead and do so, or we can send this back to my resource manager and continue that back and forth. But from here, Lori will be able to start logging her SmartBeat information towards this task, and we can continue on our merry way with just a couple of clicks. We have put out that fire that may have been a disaster in the past is now no problem now. Lori can continue to work on this task and we can close out this project as efficiently as possible. And all this information that we use for our smart beats is bubbled up from our profile pages. So I keep saying this every webinar, but I need to update this page because this is not reflective of me at all. That's not my picture. These are definitely not my skills. Do not ask me to do any C. But regardless, this is perfect for understanding exactly how our smart match system works. So if I move from Calgary, and maybe I don't want to stay in the darkness all the time, I change my location, we can update that on my profile page, and that will be updated in the smart match system automatically. Maybe I get some additional roles, maybe my allocation has changed, or maybe I improve my skills. Everything will be logged in real time here and automatically transferred over to that smart match page so we can understand exactly what is happening in real time. And similarly, all this information bubbles down for our resource managers. So our resource managers are going to want to understand our allocation across our whole organization, and we can do that with one easy click. So here I can understand exactly what hours we have allocated, over allocated, time off, holidays, pending requests to be hired. And even further, we can understand our resource availability by role. So in this example, we can see that I actually have an admin user, a billing manager, and a resource manager, and we only have one person in each of those roles. We can actually see we have 0 hours available. They are fully booked until February. So that means if there is a project that pops up with one of these roles, or maybe there is a project that is existing that needs some help from one of these roles, we are going to be scrambling because we are going to be reallocating hours, probably over allocating, and that means increased cost, and that is what we want to avoid. So this allows me as a resource manager to also understand maybe what projects we can take on or where our hiring or training needs are. And this is also available to us in our skills grid. So we have a skills web. I'm more of a list person, so I like to view it in the list form, but this tells me what skills we have available to us as an organization. So as you can see, we're great communicators, tons of people who are familiar with business process, and a lot of attention to detail. But there are some skills that we're not quite so bountiful in. For example, our mechanical reasoning, our integration, case notes, adaptability, Ruby, all have very few users with those skills. So again, if there's a project or a task that requires these skills, we might be floundering a little bit. So this again allows my resource manager to understand exactly where we are for our skills catalog. And finally, our resource management page also allows us to understand what pending resource requests we have. And if I have proposed some resources and need to light a fire under one of my coworkers, I can have a verbal conversation because regardless of how many robust notification systems we have, there are some people that might just turn a blind eye. So this just really allows me to keep track on that resource request pipeline. So now that we have our projects planned, our resources allocated, and we have a better understanding of how this information is visible to us after we have logged it through our smart beats, there is some other planning that we might have to do as an organization. And this can be stressful for many people. Yes, it is budgets. So, whether that is a personal budget or an organizational budget, budgets can be complex, and we often don't realize how much goes into planning a proper budget. So, on the surface, we do understand, yeah, billable resource costs and non billable resource costs, but there are also business costs that have to go into our budgets. We have advertising and promotions, depreciation and amortization, insurance, maintenance, office supplies, rent. The list goes on, and these all have to be accounted for in our budget. Maybe for some strange reason, we're hosting a office party in January and we need everyone to be on Zoom, but we need to make sure they're fed. And if you're in the winter, you get nice monogram sweaters for everyone. Or if you guys are in summertime, then you have matching t-shirts. But all of this stuff, all these employee benefits, all these business costs don't just materialize. The money doesn't come from nowhere. We have to ensure that we are building this into our budgets. So our smart budget system allows you to plan all this information with ease. Our smart budget allows you to input all of your information. Then we can set smart utilization goals, margin goals, and as things change and adjust, we will be able to see how this affects our goals, what we will need to be charging for a specific role, etc. So we'll actually understand exactly what our goals, how our utilization, and how our margin goals will affect our business costs as an organization, ensure that we are planning effectively and making the most of our money, making sure every cent goes its maximum distance. And if we have a specific budget that looks well and it's working good for us, we can actually copy this over into Q2, Q3, Q4, and we don't have to stress because we know if anything changes, just like everything else in Polaris, this is adaptable and we can make sure that it keeps up with any of these changes that happen as an organization because quite frankly, things are in turmoil right now. So this platform is agile and robust in ensuring that we are able to keep up with any changes in your platform and in the globe. So after we have gone ahead and submitted these budgets, we will have to make sure that we are getting paid for all this work that we have done. And this is done through our billing tab. So our billing tab allows you to keep tabs on every single dollar in your organization in regards to billing. So we have a nice overview that allows you to understand your bill plan. We can actually see which of our tasks and projects have hours that are available to bill. And we actually get a nice little breakdown of all of our transactions here. And if we need to, we can actually bill right from the system here. So we can print off this invoice, and these invoices are configurable so we can change color scheme, layout, logos, line items, whatever the case may be. And I'm assuming since we're printing this off, we're sending it via carrier pigeon. So attach that to our little bird's legs, send them off, and that will get to our client in a couple of weeks. Similarly, if I want to go a little bit quicker, we can email this invoice directly from the platform, or if need be, we can also export all this information to our ecosystem. So Polaris does all of this work without any data silos because it is your data, so you should have full control over it. And we want you to be able to get this information where it needs to go. So regardless if you need to get information from Polaris or to Polaris, you will be able to do that with ease. And finally, after we have done all this work, our mission controls are perfect for understanding what needs to happen immediately, but we may also want to do a nice roll up and see how we did in a specific quarter or by the end of the year. Maybe we're giving a presentation for leadership and we just want to understand what all this data means for our organization. So you've already been inputting into the system. We want to help you unleash it, and we do that through our BI tools. So our BI tools really allow you to take a deeper dive into your organization's information. So for example, we have our predetermined workbooks here with 7 different pages of different information that you can peruse through. So business profitability, always important. We can understand profits, margins, revenues, profits year to year, our details, our margin differences, but we can break this down even further. So our business intelligence helps us to understand client profitability. So understand which of our clients made us the most money and which of our clients did not make us quite so much money. We can also further break this down to project profitability. So understand which type of projects made us a lot of money and break this down by project users, etc. We can also break this down even further by role profitability. So we really can look at this profitability across our whole organization. We're not just looking at one specific area. We are really giving you that full comprehensive view of your organization so you can see where these problems may be cropping up and rectify any changes that need to be changed. And what's really cool with these BI tools also is that they are basically limitless in what you can display. So if you have a BI expert on your team, they can really dive into this information and visualize it in any way that makes sense for them. And if you don't have a BI expert, that's okay too. We have these predetermined workbooks that you can download and visualize your information just like you see here. So even further, We can help you understand utilization, which is important, right? You want to understand how you're using your resources and how you can better maintain a high utilization rate. We also find it very useful to understand your resource plan, because if you have hours available by role, so you can see business analyst and project manager weren't allocated to their maximum, but we did have billing managers that were grossly over allocated, then this is a good understanding of how you need to shuffle these hours around. And finally, we can also view our resource availability again, just so we can plan our resources to their maximum efficiency and make sure we're not over allocating, because over allocation is overtime, overtime is overhead, and we want to avoid that at all costs. So that was our quick and kind of a first tour of Polaris. I hope it was able to kind of get across that how different this platform really is. It is so different than anything out there. It helps you make the best decision. It analyzes your data and really does this all without data silos in one fell swoop. So we are helping you run your organization effectively and make those big decisions with ease. So that's going to bring me to the end of our demo. I'm just going to hop back into our PowerPoint presentation. We'll go a quick review of everything that we saw today, look at a couple of customer examples, and then we'll hop into questions with you folks. So as you saw today, Polaris is very configurable, very agile. There is so much that can be changed and configured on this platform to meet your needs. And one of the ways that we can change is size. So we are scalable. So whether you are that 10 employee startup or that 1 million employee established organization, we can grow and evolve with you. And we are global and secure. So we have that 99.9% uptime, which you would expect from your cloud service provider. And we are secure, so you can rest assured that your data is your data and it is not going anywhere. And we are mobile first. So regardless of where you have employees or what kind of time entry process works best for them, they will have options. And we use artificial intelligence across the board to make sure this is a smooth and streamlined process. And as we saw before, we are plug and play, so we can send and receive data to any part of your ecosystem. And here is just a couple of the different platforms that we are plug and play with. And even if you have your own homebrew solution, there is a very good chance that we can connect Polaris with it. So regardless of what you have going on in your ecosystem, Polaris will fit in perfectly with everything. And all this is possible because of our hassle-free support and services. So having a great product is just the first step. We also have a team behind this product to ensure that it is successful for every single user. So our implementation is quick. We have a customer success manager that is assigned to every single customer, and they will make sure that you are moving along swimmingly with Polaris. They are going to know the ins and outs of your account and make sure that everything is satisfactory to your needs. We have 24/7 support. So we have a support team across the globe. So regardless of when you need this help or who needs this help, there's going to be someone who has your back. And we have ongoing training. So whether it's webinars like you saw today, we have a customer help forum where people can collaborate and we answer questions in there too. And we even just post videos on our YouTube. Whatever the case may be, we always are ensuring that you are able to have the information you need to be successful. And this is all possible due to our 20 years in the business. So Polaris was created by Replicon, and we are experienced, to say the least. We have 500 team members across the globe, and right now we have over 7,800 customers in 70 countries, and we put 42% of our budgets into research and development. So this is constantly improving our products and ensuring that you have the best possible product for every single one of your needs. And as you can see, we fit a whole host of different use cases. So regardless of what organization you work for, there is a very good chance that Polaris is going to fit right at home. And as you can see, you might recognize a few of these names. We are used across the globe in so many different areas. And here's a couple of examples of customers who have seen success with Polaris. So our first example is a financial services organization. Before Polaris, they had an inability to scale, inaccurate project scoping, limited project forecasting. This was leading to slow billing, and this just made everything an utter nightmare. It is so difficult when you have no ability to scale, and trying to keep track of all of your data can be tough. So after implementing Polaris, they had a modern interface that gave them real-time visibility, so they weren't searching for the data they needed. It was given to them. This allowed for improved forecasting, created a centralized solution, and increased utilization 5 to 10%. Another example we have here is an enterprise IT service. Before, they had an issue with tracking field engineers. People were everywhere. And then this created multiple data silos. They had no single source of truth. Then this led to inaccurate data, which led to cash flow problems, which led to inaccurate billing. And this created that vicious cycle of where we keep having problems and they compound and snowball until we have no idea where these problems started, and it can be so difficult to fix. So they went with Polaris, and after implementing Polaris, they had a holistic view across all their locations. All their field engineers were able to log their time effectively, and this gave them a single source of truth that allowed for that actionable data and created a big cultural change within the organization. So many benefits to Polaris. We can help you solve those revenue leakages, increase resource utilization, decrease administrative overhead. The list goes on. What Polaris is doing is giving you a central source of truth for your time. It is helping you access that data, harvest it, and then analyze it and give you those recommendations all in one swift motion. That is Polaris. It is the world's first self-driving PSA, and it is helping you deliver harmony with smart decisions. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to get a better idea of what Polaris is and how it can work for you. If you do have any questions, feel free to submit them now, and we'll get to our question box in just a second here. But yeah, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. My email is curtistohaniak@replicon.com. A little bit of a tongue twister, so it might be good. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I know every second of your time is valuable, so I really do appreciate you hanging on with me today. And yeah, feel free to get in touch with us with any questions. I hope you're staying safe, staying happy, staying healthy, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.